feel you deep. Are you ready?
If you are.
Mm-hmm. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by the lovely
Karen.
That's right. And we are ready to do some podcasting
Mm-hmm.
on a Saturday morning. You can find us everywhere you get
Afternoon.
podcasts on a Saturday afternoon. You can find us everywhere you get podcasts. All you got to do is search the Black Guy Who Tips and we'll come up. And we appreciate the feedback. This episode is about feedback. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, this the official weapon of the show is
The taser.
and the unofficial sport
Ball.
Bullet Ball Extreme. So no sticklers will be writing in comments on YouTube. But yeah, so this is a feedback show. We're going to respond to all the stuff that you had to say. If you're looking for how to correspond with the show, how to do feedback, it's in the show notes. So just look in the show notes of any episode and it's got the email and the voicemail and all this other stuff right there. And you can leave the comments and then the 5-star reviews and stuff, and we'll read them on the air.
We will.
You can also go to the blackouttips.com, and on the front page of our website, you can choose to give us some money. And we love money. I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I understand a lot of people have problems with capitalism. I only have a problem with capitalism when I don't have money. If I'm being real. When I have a lot of money, I'm like, oh, okay, this is working out for me. You know, and then sometimes it doesn't work out, but we don't talk about those times. Let's talk about the people that gave us money, though.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's Own, Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
New day, new way to make some pay. Let's talk about this money. Corey the Tickler, Brianna F, April G, Tabitha M, Alexis H, Marlon B, yes, Marlon B, Tanya S, Wonga from Down Under, Dotstry J, Tiffany B, Shirley Wong Esquire, please say the Esquire, Jane M, Mr. Span from the Span Report Podcast, Palmetto Stone Magic, Lindsay B, Alfonso M, J Full, James C, Jasmine J, David C, and Autumn W. Those are the people that said, let me see what I got for you in my purse. Oh, I got a little butterscotch and some money.
Thank you.
And I threw the butterscotch in the trash and I ate the money. All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's get into the 5-star reviews. We got some. Ain't we lucky we got them? Mm-hmm. Quite a few.
5 stars.
That's
yes, right. We love the 5 stars. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We had temporary no feedbacks last time.
I know.
But
we thought y'all didn't love us no more.
Mm-hmm. I said, wow. But y'all, we fussed at you a little bit and y'all came through. Amazing. Amazing. This is by Hold It 34. It says, absolutely love this podcast. Ryder Care have me laughing every week. I have been hooked since the Bullet Ball episode. I really get a kick out of the recap of House of the Dragons. The House of Dragons. I now only look at Otto as a pimp and nothing else. Thank you both for being you. Keep it up. He really did put that little girl on the stroll. I have never seen a man so focused. 5-star Rich says Lil Sean John Wayne, who says best recaps in the game. I started watching Game of Thrones because I got FOMO listening to the recaps and not knowing what was going on. I went back, caught up, and so glad I did. Now watching House of Dragons and looking forward to the recaps every week. Keep up the amazing job, guys.
Yay!
I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. I almost didn't want to do the recaps, but I feel like the recaps has its own like community around it, and there's people that they may listen or they may not listen, but they get more and more vocal around this time of the year when we do these recaps. And who am I to say no to that?
And it is actually a lot of fun. It's actually really, really, it's fun. It's enjoyable. And I have really, really been enjoying recapping the show with you this year.
Thank you. I'm addicted. Can't go too long without my Karen and Rod fix. This from Lady Lanny, who says the hardest working couple in the podcasting game and the funniest. The Blackout Tips is how I keep up with national COVID and POC news that I find important without getting overwhelmed. Oh, I'm glad that we can help in that area because it
Yeah,
gets overwhelming at times.
it can. Yes, it can.
Sometimes their perspectives can convince you to reconsider your position, all while you laugh to the point of tears. Give it a listen, but don't be surprised you get concerned looks from strangers while shopping at the red or at a red light. It's their loss. Caro, like Caro syrup. Keep doing what you're doing. The podcast just be calling me, man.
Oh,
Thank you, Lady Lenny. And
thank you.
that's a really dope to hear. Like sometimes we get people to reconsider a position. I'm not like I never hop on this microphone with the idea of like we changing hearts and minds today.
No, that's not the
But
purpose.
I think we try to give thorough opinions and well thought out nuanced takes, and it's one of the reasons the show is so long, but it's also one of the reasons that I think the people who really love it and still try to allow for the idea that like everybody's not supposed to or will be like in lockstep with each other on every opinion. And
nor are you obligated to, because
Right.
we all have different life experiences.
yeah, shit just some shit just take other people longer to get there, or they never get there. Or
Right.
sometimes you're the person, we're the people sometimes that go, oh, they were right. Like I,
Mhm.
hey, I didn't feel that way at the time, but looking back, it's like, oh, okay, I see I feel differently now. Time to re-up. This is from G Benton 14, who says, still loving the show, with 5 heart emoji and 5 flame emojis. Thank you.
Oh,
And the last one is from D White 1906, who says, the reason I podcast now, 2 flame emojis. What up, Karen and Rod? Very dope couple. I'm currently in Italy for a few months, but I'm from the States. SC stand up. Shout out to South Carolina. Came across your podcast about 50 to 75 episodes ago, searching for black venues to support. And I haven't missed the show yet. Can't comment on them all in this 5-star review, but your interactions, jokes, hot takes, chemistry, news stories, guest sound bites. The sound bites are A1. The impersonations, rant, Karen be going in, crying emojis, Inteli Ignorance. Oh, I like that. Inteli Ignorance is flawless. I was off and on about podcasts, but now consistently listen because of your show. I share the show every time I get a chance because it's dope, but also support Black excellence. Prayer hands emoji, or it might be the ribbon emoji, and Black fist emoji. And y'all on Game of Thrones too. Hashtag them thrones. I found a place to be. Okay, let me close this out. Keep doing what you're doing. 10 out of 10. Recommend to anyone who's anyone. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel so loved.
Wasn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guys, this is what I want to feel every week. This is why when we don't get 5-star reviews, it's like, oh no, because this is where it's at. Y'all wonder why they do these long ass feedback episodes and listen to everyone's opinion when they could just easily be like these other podcasts, like y'all don't exist. That's why, because y'all take the time, so we take the time. Thank you. All right, let's get into the episodes for this week. We had episode 2598, Spicy Rod. That was a feedback show. We got 8 comments. I had a lot to say. Lots to say. Let's start with the website comments. Appia, of course, right? Saying first, and listen, she be on it.
Come on.
That German time, I don't know what it is, but it's like we post the episode.
Like she in tomorrow time.
She's already got a comment before the rest of y'all can get there. Childcare wasn't free, but it was affordable. It was $350 a month the last year before school 6 hours a day were free. I know myself, without kids, I would have invested my money in dating, adventures, and traveling, because what for should I buy a house in an area where so many families live? Maybe an apartment somewhere. Thinking about the alternative Appia makes me sad she doesn't know about Mr. Appia or the kids, so I guess I made the right decisions. I have a friend who I learned with at university. We went to law school together, but at the university I went to work for Big Pharma, not a classical law job. She has no kids and is sad about it. It has moved a lot and had also several relationships. This way, she started new multiple times in different cities. That wasn't good for building wealth. Also, the fact that I worked 100% in a well-paid job is also rather unusual here. We had times where Mr. Appia made more money, but the last 5 years I do because of changing the company and getting promoted. I don't think that being white was the reason for my financial success directly. I was joking about that. Using your definition, 97% at least are white here is not special here. Absolutely, people possible that it would have been harder if I was black, but the affordable childcare, free healthcare, free college, free schools help everyone. The society is so white here that I am off-white. Is that racist? If so, I'm sorry. I'm an immigrant in the society here. I came to Germany by the age of 12, and Poland was considered a less than country. Polish people were called lazy criminals and Polish women cheap. I remember at the beginning of me dating my former boyfriend, my mother asked me if his family doesn't mind that we weren't real Germans, and if they maybe let me feel that I'm from an inferior or make me feel I'm from an inferior country. They didn't, but you can see there the inner self-worth problems of my mother and the typical identity problems of an immigrant.
Right.
I know Chicago only from TV series The Good Wife and The Good Fight, and it will probably be filmed in LA, but it surely looked cool and like a huge city. Now I also checked real estate in Charlotte, NC. It's a city also way more known than mine. The real estate is about 50% of our prices. That's confusing. As she was talking about price per square foot here in the house is about $520. Yeah, so she covered a few things, but most of them just pertain to what she wrote last week. And the white privilege thing was a joke, but the other stuff, it's not that I don't think so the study obviously isn't even about you as an individual. And so obviously how you relate to it and your belief system and how you know yourself, you know better than I would if you would have made it and had more money and more wealth as a single woman than a married woman. Like, I can't speak to that, but I mean, the study is the study. It didn't lie. The vast majority of women who were not married and did not have kids had more wealth and money than those who did in America anyway. So Alice,
I mean, like most places in the world, but I know here in America they push marriage and push particularly straight people, that attachment for women to attach themselves to men. And so for us, that study is big because this literally goes against everything that we've been taught, because you've been taught, you know, kind of quote unquote tie yourself to a man so you could be quote unquote taken care of, when this study basically was like, you actually might be better off financially by yourself.
I think also in America, marriage can be kind of like seen as it's like, I think it's quickly becoming like a privileged situation. Like, things broke right for you to get married. I think we have as much debt as America has with like school and stuff that these other countries don't have. You know, I can kind of see like how, and just, you know, like I said, the book I read about poverty and the myths around poverty, one of the major myths is get married and you won't be in poverty. Now you got two incomes, and it's like, and then have some kids and blah blah blah, and like
twice as much debt. Is like a lot more that goes to that than just we together now.
Those are like factually the two times, at least in America, where people actually are the poorest, right after, you know, getting married, having those weddings, and having children, stuff like that. Those knock people down a peg in America, which it shouldn't, but you know, that's here. It may not be there like that necessarily everywhere.
Agreed.
Alice says, Rod, you didn't want to know why that guy had on a mask. What the fuck was wrong with his skin? Why doesn't he talk? How did he get a whole horde of followers? I was definitely intrigued by the crab feeder, but I bow to your superior wisdom. Roderick of Home, box office, first of his name. Yeah, Elise, I think one, we know Dragon Scale because we saw the original series, so maybe for me it wasn't as like intriguing mystery. But it's not that there weren't questions around the dude, it was that he literally did not talk.
Yeah, he didn't have,
and with him not talking made me feel like, well, then the show's not investing in him as a character. Like, every other person that is a big deal on this show has speaking lines. So I immediately just went, okay, so then they're not gonna make this guy the big boss. We're not gonna spend 10 episodes wondering when he's coming in to attack. This motherfucker's out of here at some point. And as soon as they pointed out that Corliss wanted him gone and he enlisted Damon, I said, this motherfucker gotta go then. Like, we can't spend 10 episodes waiting for Damon to finish a war. Like, as fast as this show moves, it was like, yeah, so okay, even and keep in mind, maybe if this is a different paced show, the 3 years of Damon fighting would have been a bunch of episodes, and we would have seen,
it would have been a bunch of episodes.
Like, then we would have had to flesh out the crab feeder. But this show felt like, no, we don't have time for that.
Yeah, this is a very, very sped up show because it literally, like, not trying to be funny, the first season would have been what we seen, and we'd have ended maybe in the middle of the fight or maybe at the end of the fight, like when Damien brought his body out, and then that'd have been like the quote unquote end of season 1. Because the book of it would have been like basically the back and forth and the fighting and the wars and all that type of stuff, which is what they would have did in the first Game of Thrones. They would have drugged that on, but they was like, no, we're gonna time skip. So they skipped a lot of those things, which sped up the pace.
JL Covan right saying,
what?
Hello, Rod, Karen, and Appia. I often make fun of buzzwords and terms embraced by the left, but I must say, listening to this episode, I felt seen.
Oh,
when the previous week's House of the Dragon recap was done, I felt that Rod was ignoring the clear, spiteful similarities between me and Damon. But fortunately, during this feedback episode, Rod gave me my spite flowers, and Karen threw in an extra bouquet when she rightfully suggested that I would hit an agent with a microphone. Aside from the incest, I'm glad to see Damon finally giving those motivated by spite someone we can look at and say, Mommy, that character acts just like me.
Glad you feel represented.
Ever since MJ retired, I have felt like TV and film have not given spite gods like myself a meaningful depiction. P.S. Wakanda forever? More like Wakanda could never be the Dark Knight. I will give my dollars to the Woman King instead, because the only time I will support movies like that is to shame everyone who doesn't see it but will see Wakanda forever. PPS, John Bernthal may call in for next week's feedback to promote his new show, American Gigolo, on Showtime. Yeah, I can't do it as good as Lakita replied to him, laugh my ass off. I love it, JL. I love JL. Yeah, great job, JL. And of course, you're wrong about Wakanda Forever, but it's fine. And I heard through the grapevine, they're gonna the short list of people to do Avengers Secret Wars. Ryan Coogler's on it.
Oh, let's go.
Which, I mean, if
he must have did a hell of a job on.
Like, I hope it come true, man. I hope
we get it.
Let's
go.
His movie got a curveball none of these other movies had, which is the main star dying. So if he can make something great out of this film, then he just give him all the things.
Come out November. I can't wait.
Lakita says, per the poll, I erased the comment because of all the reasons you mentioned in the show. I work for, okay, so the poll is about, I think, so it was Lakita that wrote it. The poll is about Lakita and that racist coworker that left a remark on somebody's file that was clearly just hating ass racism. And so she erased the comment, didn't really cause a stink. I don't blame her. I think a lot of people in the poll picked that option. I think one of the things for a lot of people is this idea that, especially on the internet now, everybody's like a big ass hero in every moment. And you're just like, I am going to stand against. It's like, or I'm just going to undo this shit while I can. And I knew this lady was a racist and I don't feel like dealing with whatever the fuck else comes with dealing with this kind of person.
Come on.
But she did reply that I work for a pretty liberal company, but it's still run by white men and white adjacent men. I could have gone to my boss, a white woman who does work to be an ally, but I was tired. Let's call Becky over where Lakita is the only POC to first hear Becky complain about how it made her feel before Lakita explains to these three white women why Becky was wrong in her feelings. Oh, they don't agree? Well, let's take this to white HR then. It was the second time I've seen something that egregious in about 20 minutes, and the first being an article about America only caring about white feelings again. Who is that insulting? Oh, was it the truth slapping you in the face that you didn't care for? I removed it, knowing that it was possible I would have to defend it at a later date, and I would be ready, but I was exhausted in that moment. I don't blame you. I hope you didn't feel like you caught any shade during that discussion. I really think a lot of people...
No, you can't fight for everything. And, it's one of those things where you literally have to pick and choose. And sometimes you like today, you picked the wrong one or you picked the right one today. Yeah. They both mean the same thing.
Yeah, she's in the chat. She said she don't feel blamed. So good. I just didn't want her to feel judged.
Right. And then you have sometimes where you be like, I don't have it. Like you literally don't have the energy, you don't want to take the time, you don't want to have to be an ongoing battle, you don't want all the conference calls, you don't want all the emails, you don't want to be sitting and consistently retelling your story. Like it is a lot to it. It's not as cut and dry as people have it to be. And the thing is, you would be fucking exhausted if every time an injustice was done to you as a marginalized person in any group, and you consistently pick up a flame.
Not even done to you.
Not even, well, to somebody else.
Somebody else, you picking up the flame for them. I don't, like I said, it was interesting. It just is an interesting thought exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But the poll, what would you have? Oh, well, yeah. What would you have done about that racist coworker? Confront her. 9% said they would have confronted her. Erase their comments without telling anyone. 21%, which is actually going to be the second highest. Do nothing. 9% said they wouldn't have did shit. And 20. I appreciate the honesty, because I think there's a lot of people that would be like, not my problem, or that was fucked up. And then 60% said they go to HR. So shout out to y'all. Y'all the real MVPs, because I don't think I ever went to HR for anything, not even shit that happened to me.
Same.
When I had a job, like when I had a jobby job, I would still be like, The poll on Spotify, 20% would confront her. Now you got to remember, these people have money. So they got this. That's why it's twice as likely to confront, because they're like, I'm the big dog at this job. You like, I'm gonna talk to you. It's probably a subordinate,
How dare you tell me I'm making the money?
32% said they'd erase the comment without telling anyone. And once again, that's a higher percentage, because they're like, I am the boss. Okay, I am HR, nigga. I'm deleting it, and I don't have to explain it to nobody. 2% said they do nothing, because these are busybodies. Okay, they didn't move up the corporate ladder by doing nothing. And 46% said go to HR, which is lower than the other people, but I feel like that's because they like, I am the HR. We did get some comments on this on Spotify as well. I mean, YouTube as well. And we got comments for the Q&A on Spotify. So the Q&A is nerd. Gregory says 5 stars, 5-star emojis. Sean21 says, why else would I be listening to this podcast? Can Nicole says, well, actually, and then I could feel her push the glasses on the bridge of her nose. Aaron says, C-Rod, you being smarter than us and knowing apparently everything about HBO and Dem Thrones is why everyone hates you, LOL. I get it now. I get it. If I was y'all, I'd be jealous of me too. Raphael says, Rod was right about the Avatar and 3D. That was the first movie that I saw in 3D. Felt like I lost my virginity thanks to the experience. Tried 3 movies after in 3D and was what the fuck. The film is a visual art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I said, it was a watered down version of it, because everybody know they could upcharge. And What was it? Green Hornet, I think, was one of the movies where the theater burnt down. And not burnt down, but caught fire. And we went back. We had to go back into the theater. And we went back in. Neither one of us had our glasses on. We was like, oh, we can see this shit just fine.
Mm-hmm. We had comments on YouTube for this episode. You might just get that Mac on your wish list. Not from me. Great show as always. All right, I'll add a Mac to my Amazon wish list, but unless a rich motherfucker listens to this show that I had never heard of, I got a feeling that it's not coming, guys. All right.
I'm about to say, put it on the wish list. They asking for it.
Okay. Karina says, okay, monetization. Congratulations. I double dip listening to Google Podcasts and watching on YouTube. Thank you, Karina.
Mm-hmm.
My mom said, Rod, you are fulfilling yourself, sporting that crown and the shades. FBUB4K4R says, as I got to talk to the talk of monetization YouTube while I was listening to Spotify, I jumped here. Second comment, is it me or is Karen not aging? While Rod is joining me in the salt and pepper, Karen looks like the way she looked when your podcast numbers were just over 100. Did someone say vampire? She is a very youthful looking woman, okay?
Probably because I laugh all the time.
Yeah. So all right, I'll take the credit then. All right. Also I think it's like we were out with Jay from Tea with Queen and Jay and had breakfast.
Yes.
And I noticed the waitress came over and was like, I like that hairstyle. It's like a little girl or something like that. So it could be the hair as well. Make people feel like she's a little girl. I don't know.
And I'm a kid at heart, and something, and I will always say this. And one thing I love about Roderick is that he allows me the ability to quote unquote do this in a safe place. I love things, and me and him love a lot of the same things, but we both actually really, really love video games. We both really, really love cartoons. We love a lot of things that most quote unquote adults would consider childish and a waste of time, but these things actually keep us happy. These things bring joy into our lives, and I think that that's one thing that keeps you youthful and keeps you happy. And not that things aren't going to stress you out and things aren't going to bother you, but I think those things actually, play a role, because you actually, in your face, you actually use more muscles when you frown than when you smile. And so, for me, I try my best to be happy, because the world tries everything in its hands to take your joy away. And the way the internet is and social media and stuff is, it makes you think that you are fucking insane. If you like anything, if you love anything that you find joy in, the world will actually tell you the complete opposite of that. They'll tell you this a waste of time. Be sad, be mad, be depressed like us. And I motherfucking refuse, because there's enough things to make you that way, that I'm not going to purposefully just give up my joy and my happiness and the things I love just because that's what the internet and the world and things around tell you. Sometimes you have to dig internally, which is easier said than done. But sometimes you have to dig internally and find the joy when the world tells you that there's no joy in the world.
And that's a word. Okay. You said that. We also have comments for episode 2599. First class mayor. A first class mayor. There you go. Ernest says this first class mayor business sounds like a great advertisement for Zoom and DocuSign. Could have saved the city thousands of dollars, $30,000.
Hello.
Appio says, I'm not a fan of the queen or the monarchy. I'm in fact very suspicious about them and the origin of their wealth. Still, I wouldn't wish a painful death on anyone, not even the one bad boyfriend I had in 2001. Maybe that he steps on a Lego barefoot every day. What for? This will not bring anything back. If you wonder now if I compare centuries of colonization to one bad boyfriend, I say only if you think it was funny. Otherwise, I was insensitive and of course racist somehow. Oh, let's go with the latter. Okay. Let's always assume. I like to always assume that you're being racist. It makes life easier for me. Like, oh, cool. No need to check.
Roger said, open a shut case.
I checked the Wikipedia. LaToya Cantrell, Nee Wilder, born April 3rd, 1972, is an American politician serving as mayor of New Orleans, Louisiana since May 7, 2018. As far as so here's the funny part to me I'd say atheist, but maybe agnostic or something. The person that doesn't really believe in all the religious stuff, but a person that's also like, I don't know, maybe something had to create this shit. I don't know. Okay, I don't got the answers, but I always find it funny when anyone thinks what someone feels about someone's death matters at all. Like, it's all funny to me. It's coming from my point of view of, nigga, if your powers to wish a painful death on somebody meant anything, sure, then maybe you shouldn't do it. But your powers to do that mean nothing. Donald Trump is out here flourishing, living his best fucking life. Mm-hmm. You think it's because enough people haven't wished harm on that man? Mm-hmm. Like, I remember when people got mad at Ava DuVernay for saying she didn't wish death on him when he got COVID. And I was like, right. Guys, I love Ava DuVernay. I watch all her stuff. She's amazing. She don't have psychic powers that can make a person live or die.
No.
There's nothing. Too many people have wished and prayed for people to be here that ain't here no more. Yeah. And too many people have wished for people to not be here that's still here.
And flourishing, right.
So it's so funny how divided and angry people get about all this shit when at the end of the day, it's all silly. Mm-hmm. to me, it was like that. This woman said she wished the queen a horrible death. Well, guess what, guys? This woman probably been wishing that and hoping that for 50 years and it didn't happen. She probably died in her sleep peacefully surrounded by corgis and shit. It has stopped giving. Why are we signaling either way? And no matter how people signal, why are you so upset about it? You know, and I was like, I admit that could just be a me thing. Maybe it's because I don't really believe in all that shit. So like, you know, even when people that I thought were cool or good or I had affection for, you know, so the parasocial kind, not my real peoples, but when Kobe died and there were some women that were like, he was a rapist. And I'm like, okay, well, he's dead. And if you wish that he died this way, I guess other than the 8-9 other people in the plane that died, the helicopter that died with them, that apparently you didn't mind them being taken out. But other than that, guess what? You don't have those powers. So I'm not sure what made you want to share it like in a public environment, knowing that you don't have those powers and knowing how people are sensitive about it. But have at it, everybody. I don't give a fuck. Absent-minded said, I learned the term Akata from Sugar Hill, starring Wesley Pipes and Michael Wright. Here's a link to the scene. Sir, I think you meant Wesley Snipes.
Yes, because Wesley Pipes is a whole different character.
Absent-minded.
I'm about to say, don't click that Sling D if Wesley Pipes is in it. Woo, no,
I don't think Wesley Pipes will be on YouTube.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, take us down.
But it's a link to this movie scene in Sugar Hill. The Akata scene is the caption. But now all I do is want a Sugar Hill that stars Wesley Pipes. Like I feel like you let us. We need this. You're now.
Right, you let me down.
Those are the Nigerians I was telling you about, man. Them motherfuckers, they be getting that shit from Pakistan, right? They goes to Lagos. They be bringing it over here in diplomatic pouches, man. They rocking the Bronx with that shit.
Yeah, right. Funny. One time we used to look to him for our history and our culture.
You want history and culture, you read National Geographic and shit. Tell you, man, no, we get with these motherfuckers, man, we can get out of bed with Gus and the rest of them wop guinea motherfuckers, man, like a bunch of cheap $2 hoes. I mean, let's motherfucking go over and take care of some business. Come on.
And this movie still look good.
How are you?
After all these
How you
years.
doing, Renato? How are you?
Very good.
How's it going?
Oh, did he play Otis
Mello, yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Otis.
in Temptations? Or wrong dude?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
You know about him, yeah.
How you doing?
He's what's the deal?
Well, we've been thinking about this, Renato, and it won't work. We can't work with Jakarta. You know, you do your thing.
Wait.
This is my brother. He's a very, very busy man.
I understand. This is not a personal thing. It is something we cannot do it.
Hey, what's my fucking ass man wrong, man? Just calm down. Sorry. Look, my brother was under the impression that you were going to do some business. Maybe we can just have a seat, have a drink, maybe sit down, have a nice little diatribe, so we can work this out.
Well, don't take this personally, Romero. It won't work. You do your thing, I do my thing. You know, it won't work. We can't work with Akata.
Akata. What is this Akata shit? Like American?
Oh, shit. Cotton picker.
So okay, there you go. That's what it means.
Okay, that's what it means. And it was 5 heartbeats. My bad.
Okay.
I said Temptations.
Well, you said Otis.
Yeah, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. Is that the same actor?
That's what I thought. It might be. I thought that was the same actor.
So this is Michael Wright. I'm wondering if you're thinking about the dude with one name from the that played Eddie King. Is that who you talking about?
Yeah. Am I getting them crossed up? My bad.
Yeah. Fuck. Now you got me down this rabbit hole.
Somebody saying Leon.
Yeah, Leon. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about Leon. That's a different actor.
Okay.
If we're talking about.
Okay. No problem.
But yeah, man. I mean, listen. it's just funny to your boy because they wanted that professor who wished death on Queen Elizabeth or whatever. It's just life is funny that way. You go back 3-4 weeks and it was black people trying to get her canceled. Now black people have to have her back, or you somehow cooning or whatever. It's Twitter is funny like that. But Mill says, what up, my Akatas? That's right, I'm taking it back, even though technically slaves in Jamaica weren't cotton pickers because we were cutting that sugar cane. The interdiasporic disdain is as old as the hills. When my mom was studying nursing in the 60s in Scotland, she said that when the West Africans wanted to be insulting, they would refer to West Indians as sons of slaves. Needless to say, the disparaging comments went both ways. Canada's federal government has declared a national holiday on September 19th to mourn the Queen on the day of her funeral. In solidarity with Uju Anyu and the former English footballer Trevor Sinclair, who was fired from his TV gig because of an anti-royal tweet, I am going to go to work even though it's a holiday. I'm kidding, of course. I'm not that ideologically sure.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't care what the holiday is. They paid us not to be there. I'm not going.
Day off is a day off.
Come on.
But yeah, that is. I didn't grow up around enough like people that were African to have disdain or
agreed
to just. I didn't, and I don't think would have been above it as a kid because you kind of just pushed into a culture that the people around you are saying certain shit. I only really knew one or two African people that like first gen or people that came from another country and still had like the accent and all that stuff. I only knew a couple of them in Charlotte, so I didn't have the whatever this shit is that everybody. I didn't realize motherfuckers was this mad about this kind of shit until I got on social media and saw how hard people were going
on both sides,
in both directions, and I just was like,
this is ridiculous, y'all.
Yeah, leave me out of this one.
Right.
Iman says, Rod, black women are the most disrespected group in America. That's why we have to fly first class. Karen should only be flying in the most roomy and plush of airline seats. Josephine Baker and Eartha Kitt experienced disrespect and danger in America. They found refuge in France as well. Karen, make sure Rod puts you and his mom on the next first class flight to Paris. If you ever feeling unsafe, protect black women. First class only.
Come on, first class only.
Yeah, I love the idea that she didn't even go over there to stay. She just went to like visit. She like my sister city, and then she was like, all right, back home. Evie says, I honestly haven't heard Ari Spears' name a whole lot since Mad TV. I'm sure he's had gigs here and there, but I'm not sure what career he's crying about. He should have kept Lizzo's name out of his mouth. Sorry to this man. By the way, I love what you just said, Evie, because that is the real truth that nobody wants to bring up. They don't even care about them kids in that video. It's Lizzo. If he hadn't said that shit,
nobody would have cared.
No one would have even brought that video back up. Nicki Minaj has a scary fan base who doxes, stalks, and harasses people, and she encourages it. But the internet is a fickle place. People love you one moment and turn on you in the blink of an eye.
Right.
I'd be concerned if I was her, but as old black grandma say, hard heads make soft behinds. Yeah, I mean, celebrities are just people too, and
yes, they are.
The thing it made me think is like, how unhappy is she in life that she's spending time on Twitter going back and forth with everybody? And I think it's hard to crack that nut because nobody ever admits that they're in a bad place. Everyone always is just like, what? This is what I do. But looking back at my times where I'll be heavily on Twitter going back and forth with people, those were times when I was avoiding something else, or I wasn't, or just mentally I wasn't taking care of myself in ways that I needed to be, and I'm letting social media scroll and fill in the time that should be me working on myself.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people. I think when it comes to it, I always say, we'll say this, there has to be a balance, and a lot of people are in denial. They're in denial that they're sad. They're in denial that they're angry. They're in denial that they're upset. They're in denial they don't want to talk to their spouse or significant other. They're in denial they don't want to address these issues. They're in denial they don't fell out with somebody. They're in denial about all of that. So before you actually look at these things, you'll take that time and put it into social media and spend hours and hours on end on this platform when you actually to get off and actually address these things, and then you will see it balance itself out more. But the average person don't want to acknowledge that, or they will acknowledge it after the fact. Like something has to happen for them to be like, oh shit, something wrong, or somebody around them that actually knows them personally will be like, hey dog, you out of no line, and then they'll be like, oh okay, let me step back. Like it's really hard for you to look at it through your own eyes while you're experiencing it, because you're experiencing it. So it's very hard for you to see the trends and all this stuff to go along with this. And a lot of people aren't self-aware enough to know that these things trigger this behavior, and it takes growth to get to this point where you begin to say, oh, okay, this is what happened last time. Let me sit down, let me chill out, let me figure this out before I repeat this again. Most people don't even think this. They'll just go, well, that's just the way I am.
Yeah, I think also everyone, her problems are pretty public, and I'm sure waiting on, lawsuits and the things people are saying about the man you married and all being public and shit. I'm sure that's weighing on her, and it's easier to lash out at everybody else, Pretty Tomboy says, hey fam, I just want to thank you for the coronavirus segment. I live in Mexico City and I had no idea that the new boost was out, so I appreciate your updates. By the way, Mexico does not play with Miss Corona. Most people wear their mask outside. Inside is a requirement, and sanitizer is given freely. Even with that, I know I need to use my American privilege to go back and get my shot. I don't want the Russian juice. The only time I've heard of anyone having a problem with the rules, it was, wait for it, a white man in a restaurant that fought against wearing his mask and demanded English. He was kicked out, but still, the audacity. Love y'all.
Come on, they kicked him out. They was like, what you ain't gonna do, we don't give a fuck about your white laws. Going back to America then.
Lakita says a black woman can fly safely and coach. My broke ass do it all the time. However, if there's a such thing as too safe, absolutely not. The way the GOP been getting down, hell, I fear for my life, and I ain't a black politician. In conclusion, I think she needs TPS out here advising her moves. Last night,
TPS, get her straight.
Like, this is so funny. It's especially the detail of her security being in the back.
Yes.
Oh God, man, that article is so funny. That might be the funniest article I think I read this year. I was doing something else and just thinking about the show and just how much fun I had reading that article. Like, God, that was so crazy. And she did that, and it's like, I think it's partially, it's like, I'm not mad at her. It's like when Baxter ate the wheel of cheese in Anchorman, where it's like, I'm just impressed. How did you even get in the refrigerator? Like, I would never have the audacity to pull that. And with seriousness, like with consequences on the line, that's the kind of thing me and Justin might joke about. Like, well, this is racist because blah, blah, blah. But, we would laugh about it. The fact that she stood in front of them white folks like, yeah, $30,000 on travel. Just for me. Because I need to be safe. And only first class to say, I would have been
with
paying the money back.
Face.
I would have been paying the money back before they gave me asked a question. I'd be like, well, how much is the check, dude? I'm sorry, everybody. That was ridiculous. I don't want to go to jail. Can a black woman fly safely outside of first class? Is the question. Yes or no? Karen?
Yes.
62.5% agree with Karen. Yes. 37.5% say no.
They first class flies only.
Okay, you can't be
they
safe.
Ain't taking no coach.
Now, of course, the poll on Spotify is skewed a different way.
Yes, it is. That's where the money resides.
That's where the money resides.
Where the money resides.
So 72% of the audience says yes, a black woman can fly safely outside of first class, and 28% say no. Okay. Because what they're saying is, listen, I fly first class, but it's not about safety. Okay, you can be safe anywhere on the plane. I fly first class because I got money, and I get it. I see what y'all did there.
I get you. I understand.
And then for the Q&A on Anchor, and then we'll get to the comments on YouTube. 10 Q&A responses. There is no movie worth 14 minutes of standing to clap was the comment that I left. 99 Dream says 100% agree. I've watched some really great movies. I don't even think those warranted a 14-minute ovation. Maybe if it was a live show, I could understand it, but it would still be pushing it. Aaron says 14 minutes is a long time. And it's weird to think of someone actually timing a standing ovation and then writing about the number of minutes as if that's the way to judge the quality of a film. Yeah, I'm like, honestly, I'm going to go see this film and I hope it's great. But I'm nervous about The Woman King because so many reviews I see are like, this is an important film. You know, we need to support Black movies. It doesn't matter if it's not historically accurate. They trying to keep us from seeing the movie, you know, like, and I just want like oh man, I really liked it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I've been seeing, oh yeah, I really like it. It was good. Like that's
okay.
kind of like
I just
people. Yeah.
Now this was
before
the film was out.
Okay, this was critics.
So a lot of the critics was like, you must see this important Black film. Was like, guys, I hear y'all. That sounds a little like how they promoted like that Nate, what's his name film?
Yes, that Nate Turner film.
Then when they didn't like him, all of a sudden the film wasn't good, and it was like, okay, so who was ever telling the truth? Was it the people that saw it originally and said it was super powerful and important, or was it the people that once he was persona non grata was like, this movie was always trash? Look at the cinematography. I'm not getting involved. It made me just not want to see the film, to be honest.
Same.
And I still haven't seen it because of that. But it was just like, okay, well, this is clearly not about the film. And standing ovations feel like it's not about the film.
No, that's something new. I'm apparently guessing.
Ignacio says 14 minutes. Come on, man, sit y'all ass down. Sandy says I will never understand the obsession with Marilyn Monroe, and apparently the ovation was also for the director who had never filmed a movie with the female lead. How brave of you, sir. Rolling my eyes emoji. Oh, maybe that's what it was, Sandy. Just like, oh, he actually realized women could also be in movies. What a coup. Roger says, didn't that same mayor get into a fight in a nightclub bathroom? I don't know if she did or not, but I assume she did.
Who knows?
Nick Juice says, I think if I were to premiere of I'm Gonna Get You Suckers or Hollywood Shuffle, I'd have cut up for a full 20 minutes. LOL.
Me too.
I cut up for 20 minutes, but I wouldn't be standing clapping, saying nothing. I wouldn't be doing no standing ovation for 20 minutes. And I love those movies. That's crazy. Raphael says 14 minutes standing ovation for a movie from me. I was paid by the British monarchy who bought over 1K of my soon to exist NFTs in Colonial Code. Black Panther got a standing ovation for a few minutes though. Rachel says this sounds like the 15-minute birthday standing ovation Dwight wanted to give Michael on The Office. Ridiculous then, ridiculous now. I love this as a campaign anti-slogan for somebody. Like, I would love this as like, Lindsey Graham wants to make a 14-week abortion ban federal. Lindsey Graham also was friends with Rush Limbaugh. Lindsey Graham, ridiculous then, ridiculous now. Paper by the people from Better Tomorrow. JB says Meteor Man. I don't even know what this means.
I guess the movie is then for 15 minutes.
There's no way. I love Meteor Man, and that movie's not anywhere close to standing ovation. What? Are we retconning Meteor Man? That can't be what he meant. It can't be. And I love Meteor Man, but you crazy. No. Dig Out 704 says there may be. I haven't seen it yet. To be honest, the way my knees are set up, I can't stand that long, even if it is. Yeah, that's just go to step class. What are y'all doing? Comments.
Your knees start getting hot.
Comments
and
on
your back start getting hot. You like, you know what? Let me sit down.
Comments on YouTube. We got a few. Margaret says, I was dying listening y'all talk about the New Orleans mayor. I kept seeing the principal from Abbott Elementary in my mind when y'all was talking like you were the mayor. Oh yeah, Janelle James, my girl.
I can see her scamming like that too.
Okay, listen, when they make the biopic about this lady, if Janelle ain't first and center,
right, come on.
Okay. White Label American Podcast says my homegirl does fly first class, and she testifies that it is the way Maybe I should evolve from selling NFT to buy me a first class ticket. I deserve to feel safe too, Raphael. Well, I'm pretty sure it only applies to black women, so you're safe everywhere. My mom says hilarious. The woman flying first class, but security and staff sitting with the pores. Queen Karen's word. LOL. Hey, y'all, I made it. I saw a commercial. LOL. Great show. Thanks, Mom.
Yay.
Hugh says a spoonful of maple syrup helps the sword slash go down. Chichi Mama says that AdSense money rolling in. And June left 5 laughing emojis. So, okay, we are doing it over here. Let's go to the final episode of the week. Was our Game of Thrones recap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no. I'm skipping one. 2600 was Insurrection Barbie. My bad.
Okay.
Forgot about that. We got 5 comments for that. And of course, 3 are from Appia, but they're not the first comments.
Oh, somebody beat it to the punch.
Ramsey D. Jenkins came and beat her by a full 33 minutes. I give 5 stars to Rod's reenactment in the Southern accent, 5 stars because Marin chose violence, hashtag Insurrection Barbie. Marin Morris is an ally. In 2017, she started the Heroes Fund, which raises money for music education in public schools. In 2021, she donated $300,000 to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. She also supports Feed Nashville, which raised $400,000. So
apparently she about that life.
Listen, I had no idea. Like we're gonna be honky tonky at the cookout.
No.
Bring that guitar, sis.
Pull out the cowboy boots.
We're gonna honky talk. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And welcome to the cookout. And welcome to the cookout.
Yay! We're gonna be 2-stepping.
Welcome to the cookout.
Yay!
Welcome to the cookout. Now grab your partner by the arm.
Yay! That's what we're gonna be doing. Spin your partner around and round.
Mm-hmm. Grab that girl by the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Black Lives Matter is Lucky Charm.
Come on, we're gonna be heel toeing it out there and shit.
Appia says my children seem okay with their assignment gender for now, but we try not to push them too much in the traditional directions, but to support them in their interests. I wonder what they will complain about in therapy one day. Yeah, that's gotta suck being a parent, because like we all know adults, and the vast majority of them seem to think their parents fucked up in some way. So like, you know, you ain't perfect, but somewhere someone's gonna be blaming you for all their problems one day. Glad I
no matter how hard you try.
Right. Like I'm sure the parents don't feel that way.
Parents are scared and frightened the whole time. Scared they're gonna fuck some shit up half the time.
Hopefully these cell phones giving y'all enough ammunition to at least be able to pull back some highlights. Like, motherfucker, you pissed in my shoe and here's a clip. You lucky to be here. Mr. J says, honestly, the 9/11 menu sounds delicious. The names could use work, but I'm here for the oysters and the remember teeny. Well, the oysters didn't have nothing special. Those are the two. To me, those are the most basic items. I thought you was gonna pick some of that cool shit they had. Nigga, you talking about oysters in the martini? That ain't worth that's not worth disrespecting 9/11.
Some freedom flapjacks. Let's go.
I thought he was gonna name like some of the, you know, like the fucking shepherd's pie or whatever. He just named 2 things you can get at every restaurant. It sounds like the key lime pie in the glass. Sorry, I'm horrible. Well, the key lime pie in the glass though. Appia says, I have the obvious solution to help the 14-year-old with dreadlocks. More white people should wear dreadlocks to white normalize it. I'm sure everyone will be on board and no one will have something bad to say. Just in case, this is a joke. Everyone dislikes a white person with dreadlocks. That's something every ethnicity can agree on. That's true. Now I'm afraid I'll finally be thrown out of here. I never had dreads, but I had a white friend who had them when I was a teenager, and I admired her for being the coolest, as I thought at the time. Close enough. Well, I think white people having dreads in a place that's 97% white or whatever, I mean, that would make them the coolest people there, probably.
Yes, it would.
Comparatively. But then if a black person showed up, it we would be like, take that shit out your head.
It'd be a problem.
9/11 restaurant.
If anything, we look at you like, you tan your hair up, right?
Right.
Like you gonna have to cut your hair. Your hair gonna match.
The 9/11 restaurant menu, fair or foul? Karen?
Fair.
Only 26% of people agree with Karen.
Yes, I figured that out.
74% of people agree with me. Foul. It is foul. If I went to a restaurant and they pulled out this fucking menu, I would be like, I can't even be seen in here. What are y'all doing? Is this a setup? Is Ashton Kutcher about to come out? Like y'all try to get this? How I get canceled?
This how I get canceled? Showing up here,
like fucking with y'all, thinking I just came for some flapjacks, and next thing you know, I'm gonna be on motherfucking TV.
Right?
Cancel culture can be cruel.
No, thank you.
All I did was come in here for some fries. Next thing you know, y'all talking about I bought the freedom fries. The fuck is this?
No, thank you. You're not tricking me. Nice try, crackers. But
say you ain't gonna catch me.
Wow. Them crackers is tricky, baby. Well played, crackers. Well played.
That's how I would feel. No way. All right. On the actual Spotify, 86% said it was foul, 14% said fair. So even more people disagree with Karen. Karen's just hot taking today, okay? Q&A, her boyfriend is pimping her. That was what that woman said, that judge said about her coworker. 99 Dream says, the problem I have with using a rape kit to arrest the victim of a crime is that it might lead people to avoid getting a rape kit done. Meanwhile, 99%, people avoiding a 23andMe test because of privacy is no big deal. Yeah. I like Karen made that point. I really don't think there's a counterpoint that I can think of that's better than that. I think you just have to err on the side of like you're gonna have to catch a criminal a different way than using a rape kit to be like it was you.
All right, do your job.
Ernest says, who are we to judge with putting the shades on? Keenan says, as a black man from Chicago that listen to country music, let me tell you, it ain't good unless they racist. Separate the art from the artist or whatever.
So that's when you get the bops.
I do like me. I mean, listen, it's like when Paula Dean got caught being racist, and I know everybody online was outraged, but I was like, it makes sense.
And her shit went on sale, and I remember I bought some of her stuff too. I was like, oh shit, them expensive ass pots and pans about the price about to fall.
But mostly I went, oh, her food must taste good. It makes sense. Like, white woman cooked that good in the South, something wrong with her. Okay, y'all can go get them liberal flapjacks if y'all want, but it ain't gonna hit the same.
It ain't gonna hit the same.
Katrina says, what in the Candace J. Owens did she think she was doing there? At first, I thought she was a pastor and said, yes, par for the course, but she was a judge. Did Trump appoint her? Yeah, her politics was all over the place.
Yeah, they wasn't consistent at all.
And the way she turned on other black people for disagreeing with her, that's the scary part. She was like, I'm not trying to hear any of this shit. Y'all, if you say this, you basically part of the Klan.
Right.
Like, leave me alone. Like I said what I said. You fat, you stupid, you this, you that. Raphael says, I mean, what if it was the Holy Ghost that revealed the truth to the former judge? Now y'all brought vengeance on society. Apologize to that poor woman, or better, donate to the GoFundMe I started for her. Oh, he's always hustling.
Always trying to sell something.
I knew it was coming in somewhere. Let's see the comments on YouTube. Did we get any? Oh, sorry. See if we got any. Okay. Rod's voice acting should be nominated for an Emmy, says Warrior Sport. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, done a little voice acting in my day. Miss T says, spilling the unsweet tea, LOL. Karen, laughing emoji. And my mom says, Merrick Garland is my new man, LOL. Great show. I love me some Merrick. Okay. All he do is be on their ass and not, he don't even be going back and forth with him like that.
It don't be no jokes. He don't crack a smile. He like, nope, I'm here to do my job.
All right. We're going to get the most feedback for this, and I'm sure it'll be in the emails. Plan T, episode 2601, our House of the Dragon recap. Iman says, hey, y'all. First, thank you for being your hilarious selves. I knew y'all would give me the laughs I needed to process this episode. Second, I did leave emails about this episode. I usually write one right after watching. I'm not doing that anymore. It's probably going to get more fucked up from here, and I should just wait until y'all and Black Twitter get some good memes going before I write in. So if you don't want to read them, I understand. Y'all are the best of mine. She says, I take what I said back. This isn't the worst episode. It's the most shocking episode for me so far. Again, I appreciate y'all's humor and take on the show. I feel you. I think, one of the things about one of the reasons I like doing our show on a Wednesday and not like Monday or Tuesday right after the show is so I can watch it, feelings can settle, because I think most people, I already don't consume a lot of this media in the way that other people do. I don't find a lot of stuff to be shocking and have true emotional responses, but it's because I just know it's make-believe. So I would be more like, I'm more prone to avoid watching stuff like those videos everyone passes around of like, look, two people fighting with a hammer. I'm like,
me too. I'm like, nah,
I'm like, this is real. Somebody's brains are actually on the floor.
Real.
Why are y'all so excited about this and why do you share it?
Right.
But then like, if you did, I don't know, like Game of Thrones, two people fighting with a hammer, I'll be like, well, yeah, there's a fucking stunt coordinator.
Right. The cast, their crew, somebody yell, cut.
Yeah, so I don't feel it that way, but I think a lot of people, anyway. So when y'all write immediately after the show goes off, it's like y'all's live reaction, and it's not anything, I'm not trying to be mean about it, but it's like, to me, that's not even a reaction for our podcast. That's just you watching the show and just wanting somewhere to like tell somebody or put something out there that you watched it,
and that's understandable.
Well, when we do our recap, that's on Wednesday. If you're reacting to that, you're at least reacting to what we said. You're reacting to something unique, things that we added to the show, opinions we had about the show. To me, that's better quality feedback than just like, I saw the show, let me write in, like we'll take it whichever way, but just I think that's actually dope that you said that. Like,
yeah, give yourself time to process it too.
Bamil says, hello, K-Rod or Rodrin. At the top of the episode, you were like, we don't condone the incest. And I was like, wow, so judgmental. I thought I knew you niggas. Next, you'll be saying you're firmly against indiscriminately burning niggas up with dragon fire. But do you? Emil says, P.S. Needless to say, I'm kidding. P.P.S. Am I though? P.P.P.S. Seriously, I'm kidding. And then P.P.P.P.S. Well, actually, I do like dragon fire. Dr. Uzo 82 says, hey, Rod and Karen, I don't comment much, but I cannot tell you the way I both cringe and cackle, even reading the titles of these recap episodes. Blue Clues and Chill, Plan T, House Jackson State drink, bringing that dragon fire in these recap streets. Otto showed why you can't be both the master of whispers and the hand of the king.
Right.
His old checkers playing self got outmaneuvered by a 19-year-old, and now he's left his little girl alone. Yes, I voted for Allison in the poll. Love the show, Uzo. You know what I keep thinking is Damon kind of played Otto, because Otto hated him so much he really put himself out of commission by rushing to tell the king. There was so many ways he could have got that to the king's ear if he would have just been cool and relaxed and like played it differently, had someone else say it or something
instead of going straight to him himself.
Right? Yeah, but
and the thing is, like, well, he didn't know that, but everybody's seen it, so the word would have gotten around to the king anyway. Right.
I think he saw it as a way to finally be rid of Damon, and not the full,
Rhaenyra too.
I don't. Yes, to a lesser extent, Rhaenyra too, but yes. But I think he hate Damon.
Yes.
Rhaenyra is very inconvenient, and he would like her to be off the throne. So it wasn't it was definitely also a bonus. But he hate Damon, and he let his hatred play him because he had to be the one like, ooh, and now look at you, a fool
on the outside looking in.
EVE says, I felt sorry for Allison being underneath that old ass king with the back herpes. That was grosser than Damon and Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra went from riding dragons to riding that dick. Good for her. Mike says, hi, Rod and Karen. I feel worse for Allison, and it's not close. She's just trying to make the best of things while everyone treats her like a pawn. I wouldn't even blame her for making a heel turn and becoming whatever Twitter thinks she already is. Yeah. Like, I don't read the books, but it just feels like whatever the characterization of her in the books is, these niggas can't wait for it. They're like upset that the show just didn't make her bad, or if that's where it's going.
Right.
They're like out the box, just like, I'm fucking your father because I'm evil. Fuck you, bitch. Like, because they didn't do that. So they talk about the character like that's what it is, but I don't think the show is giving us any reason to feel that way yet.
And that hasn't been presented. People
that's
just
what I'm
projecting,
saying.
yes.
Yeah, it hasn't really given us a way to feel that way. But Rhaenyra, with her Trump-like no princess has ever been treated as unfairly as I have attitude, she has her father's knack for driving away allies without his kind-hearted motivations. She has Daemon's love for creating chaos, but not his strategy to turn the chaos to a benefit. Rhaenyra used a trip to find a husband as a chance to insult every potential political ally to their faces, and she still is going to be shocked if not all of them have her back later. I just want her to understand the game and learn to play better, like problematic fave Daemon. Though I too am a good person who condemns all the bad things and supports all the good things. Thanks for your recaps, M. Yeah, I think someone wrote in later on, like I saw the email or maybe it was a YouTube comment where they were gonna say that me and Karen go too hard on Rhaenyra, and I can't wait to clap back because that's not true at all. And I think rooting for somebody to play the game smarter is completely different than rooting against that person. Like if I was like, she shouldn't be on the throne, I don't want to see her. Like I don't that part. I'm not loyal to none of these characters. Period. Because that's what I've learned about Game of Thrones over the years is you get loyal to somebody, they either do something fucked up or they do something so stupid they get killed or whatever, and you like, oh god, I shouldn't even have been rooting for their ass. So I'm not loyal, not even to the black ones. I seen the black Twitter like we fucking with them Valerians, and I'm like, no, we not. I mean, y'all might be, but I'm not, because who knows what the fuck that nigga gonna do?
Right.
It's entertainment to me, and I like the entertainment. I like the messiness, but rooting for characters is beneath me. That's all I'm saying. Like it's good for y'all, but for me, I don't know. That's the way you would watch like an NBA game, and I don't watch this that way because it's scripted. Lakita says, full disclosure, I only know the story from the mouths of Lord Rodimus and Lady Kate Killer. Per the poll, I feel worse for Allison right now, but I have a feeling that won't always be the case. People get tired and she's human, so we'll see. Yeah, I'll tell you this, the way they're writing it, if she pulls a fucking like 180 on Rhaenyra, like fuck you, they're writing it in a way where I could see
it will be earned.
I could see her being like, I was on your side for a bunch of shit, and you just kept doing whatever the fuck you felt like doing. Mm-hmm. And I've been in here laid up under your fucking dad dealing with all this bullshit, and you've been just mad that you can't be quote unquote free to do whatever you want. Like,
right.
Like I can see that causing resentment in their relationship. Anyway, who do you feel worse for, Rhaenyra or Alicent? Karen?
Alicent.
83% say Alicent and 17% say Rhaenyra. On the Spotify poll, 87% Alicent, 13% Rhaenyra. So that's probably going to come down at some point, because that means this show is probably writing her so sympathetic that they're going to feel like we have to pull this back in. Because I think the only person I would truly feel they've written in a way that probably the vast majority of the show don't like him is Otto.
Yeah.
Everyone else, I think, and maybe Damon after this week for some people, but in general, there's a lot of people that have felt like, oh yeah, okay, like I see how this person came to this conclusion. I see why they did this. Those two, Alicent is in such a, they've written her now to this point where it's like you can't even really blame the girl. So you almost have to have her do something fucked up at some point, because then you gonna run into the Arya problem again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rhaenyra is for the streets was a comment. KJ says, I thought Daemon left the boy clothes and note to get Rhaenyra to kidnap herself. Didn't see the incested eyes wide shut party coming. Guess it's Trailer Park of the Dragon now. Jerry. Young Yogi says, was I the only one getting Princess Jasmine vibes when Rhaenyra was walking through the streets among the commoners and street rats? Mm-hmm. Pamela says, love her. Sandy says, Viserys is what happens when you push nice people too far. They won't be happy till he burns the kingdom down. I wonder if he got it in him. That would be a dope twist if somehow he went crazy. Cause he been the whole time talking about, well, you know, we got crazy in our bloodlines, but I'm not one of them. These other Targaryens, they be going crazy. If he just has a moment where he's like, I'm killing a motherfucker tonight, I'll be interested to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says Rhaenyra was lying for her life, wasn't she? She was like R. Kelly in that interview with Gayle King.
Yes.
Ray wild.
I'm fighting for my life.
Right. Rachel says Ray wild as hell, but I don't think Allison is drinking plain tea because it sounds really hard to make, and her whole purpose is breeding. No one will be able to keep it a secret. Oh yeah, I hear you. That's a great point, and it just made me think. But the reason that I felt like maybe she was drinking that plain tea shit was because of that sex scene we see later. And the baby crying and all, like they was, and that comment Ray says to her that felt a little like shade, like imagine I'm trapped in this castle breeding children, and it felt like, damn, I can see how she'd be like, I actually don't like this, I don't want this, and it is trash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like she don't want to have any kids,
but I have no reason, no confirmation. It just was a thought I had after seeing the plain tea at the end of the thing. I was like, maybe that's what she was drinking. Why'd they show us what she was drinking that night? Ernest says, don't bring home nothing penicillin can't cure. Renee says, certainly an intriguing episode. I'm just kidding. I'll shut up and thank you, Rod. You're welcome, Renee. And I can take a jump back. Okay. We're friends. We're fine. Raphael says, I thought I love messy families, but the Targaryens too damn messy. I'm done with the streets, moving to the shipping lanes now that the stepping stones got lotion. Thanks for that points. Thanks for the points about Allison. And Ignacio says, screw you, Damon. Where's Sir Cole? This is one thing I fucked up. I forgot. I wrote it down and just forgot to mention it during the recap. And maybe I've mentioned and forgot, but whatever. The other thing about this scene between Damon and Ray, and then Ray and Cole, I think that was about power dynamics, because I think she felt a certain loss of power when Damon spurned her in front of those people, left her with her literal pants down in front of everybody.
Right.
And I think
she was upset.
And I think she was reclaiming her power, whether it be at the expense of Kristen Cole or not. She was, in her mind, she was like, I am going to reclaim this power. I want to feel powerful tonight. And I'm going to fuck this dude that really can't say no, right, who I've been fancying for a while, and can't pull no bullshit like Damon did on me. Mm-hmm. June left a comment on YouTube. We got a bunch of them. June says, the recap I was waiting on, and it didn't disappoint. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saf Anime says, I love listening to y'all. You make me watch the House of Dragon every week just so I can take part of your recap. I can see what you're saying about Rhaenyra and Allison's relationship being good friends, but I also think they had a romance when they were younger, and that was why Rhaenyra was so upset when her father announced he was going to marry Allison. Now Allison is trying her best to make the best of a bad situation for both of them, and Rhaenyra is making it difficult. But for now, Rhaenyra is my girl, and Allison can sit her no friending ass down. Y'all keep up the good work. I have to give this a thumbs down. Okay. I'm not going to give you a thumbs down, but it deserves a thumbs down. Okay.
Yeah. Cause they were best friends. Like, it would be shocking if your best friend turn around and just marry your daddy out the blue, and y'all didn't talk. Y'all didn't consult. You didn't tell me this was a part of the gig. I come in and I find out in a fucking conference call. I open up Instagram and see you and my daddy booed up together, rolling down my timeline. I'm gonna feel a certain way,
right? And that's the thing. She was meeting with him in secret, and I get why Allison was in a bad position and didn't want to tell her. But you don't need to make it a romantic thing for Rhaenyra to feel insulted and walk out of that room at that moment.
And it might be both, but
I know, but it's the secret of it. It's enough. Yes. To just have it be a secret. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, I find it hard to believe that it was like a romantic relationship completely because of the age of the characters at the time. Like, they were both like 13 or 12, or like, it didn't feel to me like romantic is probably putting it too strong a term. Like we're both gay and we're together and da da da. It felt like the actors even said they picked choices that make it feel like it would, to show how close they were, to make it feel like, oh, it could be a romantic thing. But I think the show and the script and the stuff, like, I don't think they chose to make it romantic. I think we would have got at least a kiss. We would have got a note. We would have, even in that moment when she was mad at Rhaenyra, I think she would have said, like, you know, something. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it was a stretch.
Yeah, my thing is, if it was romantic, I think that it needs to be more plain. I shouldn't have to guess.
Yeah, when has this show played like that? Like, when, like, this Game of Thrones shit, they not scared to show what they want to show us. And I don't think that, to me, it didn't feel like this was one of those times where they're like, all right, we gotta be careful with this. Like, no, they would have just been like, yes, and there was a lesbian part to this too. And like, shit, they probably would love to show that, you know, to be honest.
On them, yes.
But maybe we'll see it later, and maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Right.
So Sayida says, your House of the Dragon review was insightful and entertaining as usual. Thank you. Ernest says, thank you for the big fun. It's my favorite reference, and all the people I work with are too young to get it. Ramsey says, I need to purchase my house tip shirt, 5 stars. Avocado Colorado says, guts full of coal had me dead. Accountant by day says, you mentioned the part where they joked about the tapestries. Have you been paying attention to the tapestries that are hanging in the king's chambers in the past few episodes? They look like scenes out of Flea Bottom. I don't know about the king's chamber, but I have seen the tapestry, the wall paintings or murals or whatever above the bed for Alicent and for the queen, the queen that died in childbirth. These fucking that's just pornography. Like, it's just in the, like, it's just like it's like the Kama Sutra. So I mean, I guess we know what that room's for. I guess they didn't have porn back then, so it's like, if the king got to get it up, he need to look at some pictures.
Yes, I guess, you know, instead of porn, we just have paintings.
My mom says, bow down, bitches, to the king, Rod, and Queen Karen. The best recap in these streets. Laugh out loud funny. Don't make me call you, LOL. And Ian Harmon says, recap with 2 heart emojis. So there you go. That's all of the comments on our website. That's all of the comments on YouTube. So we got to those. And now I gotta check my Skype, which is making me, of course, install Skype all over again, because why would they ever want to keep it simple? No, let's make it difficult. At least I don't have to log in again, because I don't remember that password. We got one new voicemail. Let's see who it's from.
Hello, Rod. Hello, Karen. Hey, I'm just calling you. I don't have anything to add except that I really appreciate you guys, your show, as far as your quality of your show, the fidelity of your show. I'm trying to listen to a podcast that I really like, but it's really hard to get into the show with the quality and the sound. And I can always say that, listen to you guys over the years, that and the fidelity of your show has always been top. So that's all. I don't have much to say. Just saying that I appreciate you guys and appreciate the time and energy that you put into your show to make it sound professional.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like that's really dope.
That means a lot. You know, sound means a lot. And, you know, for those of you that do podcasts, everybody expects you to have NPR sound on a shoestring budget. And sometimes that's not the easiest thing.
But it has gotten so much more affordable.
Yes,
I think about this all the
nowadays,
time. Like,
it is.
Like, and I'm not trying to be a stickler or a dick, but like, it really is no excuse. And it definitely means your sound quality at this point means how much you care or don't care about your product. And we don't have a perfect show. You know, there's still, like, there's times we have a guest and they don't have a great mic, but shout out to the pandemic and Zoom and all this stuff. A lot of people got better setups than they used to have. Used to be even worse.
Like, they're investing in the mics. They're investing in better laptop mics and things like that.
Yeah, we have to make sound quality decisions every day. There's times when we've had to have a guest on by phone and you're like, hey guys, got a heads up, this is not the quality we normally like, blah blah blah. A lot of times people wonder why we do shows by ourselves a lot. I know the sound quality of me and Karen in the room together. I know the sound quality of me on the road and Karen in this room. Like a lot of times people don't, care. It's not their main job. And to me, it's like, if you're a podcaster, you have to want to sound good, and you have to recognize it, fair or unfair. Motherfuckers are comparing you to these people Karen mentioned, and they don't, when they hear that drop off on you, they just dip,
Yeah, now fair, right, and all that stuff, it don't matter, because people are like, I tune in, and when people feel like they're listening into a tin can, and for some people they will stick around, but for a vast majority of people, they'll go no.
There's way more competition than it used to be too. So like now people are like, I will find somebody else that talks about this type of thing, and I'm not worried about the sound quality and stuff. And it's just, but at the same time, like, I remember Bill Burr for a long time just did his podcast by recording something, and somebody would put it up somewhere, and you could tell like he didn't really give a fuck how it sounded. And he kind of made that part of the bit. It was like, oh, there's my baby crying in the background, or oh, there's my shut up dog, or whatever. Some people like that shit, some don't. I think if you keep it real, most people will be like, I just fuck with y'all for the authenticity. Right. I know there's podcasts I listen to that don't have great sound quality, but I fuck with the authenticity. I love them. I fight through it and listen to it anyway. But I think it definitely matters, because it's saying something about your work ethic, and it's saying something about how much you care about your fans and your product and stuff. And it's hard to avoid. But like I said, I'm not here to fuss at anybody. It's just it's just everybody is choosing every day what they're gonna fuck with. All right, we got emails. Them Thrones, aka them niggas nasty. See, this is another one of those, like, immediately after the show somebody wrote us.
You can tell by the way they respond.
Yeah, I deleted the two that Amon told me to delete. So I, but yeah. So Piccolo says, I know I'm late to the party, but it just dawned on me that literal T Viserys, I don't know how to spell any of these black ass names, dropped on Ray Ray at the end of the episode. So if she didn't go Terrence and Philip on her uncle, you call those creepy vibes from the necklace scene, then she wouldn't need to drink it. But if she does, it's proof they, I guess, had sex. But didn't Kristen skeet in her? I mean, that's the vibes I got. So she got to take it either way, admitting to letting uncle, or to hide the maybe secret love baby with Kristen, ponder thoughts. Well, we already gave our thoughts on Wednesday. So Emmanuel says, thank you for the inspiration. Hey, Rod. Oh, wait. No, I already did this one. I read this a while ago. Why is that still there? Oh, Miss Smart says, greetings, Queen Karenis and Kang Rodrin of House Jackson. Don't trust that tea. Are we sure Otto didn't call in some favors for a special batch of Princess Killing tea for Riri? I don't think so.
And the Meister specifically said the king requested this tea.
Yeah.
So it came directly from him, because he was like, look, bitch, I'd rather be doing anything else to fucking brewing this goddamn tea. I'm only here because I had to be here.
I think the whole gravitas of that scene is her father, kind-hearted Viserys, does not believe her.
Nope. Because
even though Allison told him to believe her, even though she wouldn't pleaded herself to say it didn't happen, end of the day, he did what she wanted, got rid of Otto, but he still don't believe that girl story.
No, he don't. And he even said she wasn't innocent.
Right. And he don't know about Kristen. So that means he believes she slept with her uncle.
Right.
We know the king wouldn't be smart enough to disable his email, parking pass, gym access, and corporate credit card before he fired him. Otto is definitely going to be ordering office supplies and rental cars on the corporate account months after his employment was terminated.
Right. They're going to be shipping that shit to his house.
Yeah, I do think Otto's not done playing these games for the games of this throne, but yeah, I don't think he would overtly poison her. I don't think he would overtly poison her the day he got fired, like on some, like it's such a direct line. The day Viserys low-key accuses him of killing his own father, and then his daughter dies by poison, that would be so...
Oh, he put a warrant out for his arrest.
That would be so crazy. It'd be beneath this show, honestly. On the off chance that Otto didn't directly send the tea, I still don't believe the daddy is sharp enough to know to put Plan B in her tea. Well, the Maester said it was the dad. I don't know. I don't think Viserys is stupid. Like, if anything, this episode I learned he's like, if I had thought he might be stupid, the way he confronted Otto and was like, I seen all this shit, I just was letting it slide. And the way he told Allison, like, listen, I do know that these motherfuckers are scheming around me, but I understand that that's part of the job and that they're going to advocate for themselves. That made me go, oh, he's smarter than I thought. He sees the shit and doesn't emotionally react on some like, I'm taking this as disrespect. He just clocks motherfuckers like, okay.
Yeah, like make mental notes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll see how you get down. So that leaves a potential baby daddy who'd rather keep his job than risk her carrying a gut full of him, or her stepmom friend sending the tea under the direction of Otto. It all comes back to Otto, Miss Smart. Oh, I don't think so. Now, if Otto was from Detroit, I might
say yeah.
But we know he's not a Detroit nigga. Bye, Otto. This is Evelyn who writes, good morrow to you, Queen Karen of House Jackson, most honored host of the Black Guy Tips Nation, leader of those who knucketh if you bucketh, welcome honored guest if there is one, and beloved young Squire Roderick. Wow, the shade. I mean, well, this is the thing. We don't read feedback on the day we do the recap, so there was no guest, and I don't even know who you was writing this for, sis. Now, don't we both feel stupid? Why are that? Last week we had Damon, Usain Bolt, Targaryen. This week it's Hot Girl Ray. I love the way this story was written for this episode. The levels of showing the grooming and opportunism of Damon and his failure to lure Rhaenyra was well done from a story writing perspective. And then having Hot Girl Ray pull Kristen Cole. I know there's an unfortunate power dynamic there where he couldn't really say no. This world is complicated. Good for her. Yeah, I'm trying to think the last time we really saw in this Game of Thrones universe some pure, not weird sexual relationship type stuff that didn't, it's
been a while.
Maybe Jon Snow and that, well, he was her prisoner at one point.
He was.
And ended up killing her. So I don't know. I don't know, dog. Maybe Daenerys and Jon, but then that's kind of like they're related.
They're related. Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's just, this ain't the show for that. So, it's all degrees of gray, and that's probably the least gray of the sex we've seen so far this year. The hot girl Westeros legend Marjorie Tyrell, she would approve. While I still don't trust Allison, I felt bad for her in this episode. Nobody needs to sleep with the Walking Dead. Well, finally having a heart there, Eve. You love to see it. I mean, what else they got to do to the girl? But my MVP didn't even show up on the screen. My man Corliss. That's what I said. He looked like he took his luscious blonde locks and his black capitalism to the free cities because he be getting to the money. And everybody mad.
Right. Sound like we gonna get him this week coming up though. I mean tomorrow, because sound like they gonna be Nook if you book at the wedding.
I do need him to make alliances without trying to marry off his daughter. Well, that ain't gonna happen. Can't wait to hear your recap. Don't sip the tea, my G's. I wonder if they'll cast a different actress as the daughter, because they did it for the brother for Corliss.
Yeah, because they look like everybody most likely has aged up.
Yeah,
right now.
so
yes.
I know they haven't with the main actresses for Alicent and Rhaenyra yet, but they definitely aged up Laenor.
Yes.
So they should age up the girl, because them having a 9-year-old play a 12-year-old was
something else.
It made the point they wanted to make, but also like, all right, point made. Wish you good fortune in the war to come. For Notorious EVE, quick question: if you had to pick a dragon color, what would be yours? Black for me. Karen?
Had to pick a dragon color?
Yeah. Like, what color would you want your dragon to be?
A purple.
Okay. Yeah, I would go with black. And I would fucking attack people at night. I scared the fuck out them niggas. Leslie says, Hello, House of Jackson. Just wanted to say how much I appreciate you both noticing the intimacy coordination on the show, because it really does make a huge difference. I'm an early career intimacy choreographer, and I'm super passionate about this work. A lot of people either don't know what an IC is or have misconceptions about what they do. So when you both noted how the intimacy was different from Game of Thrones years, I cheer because it absolutely is. There's still lots of sex happening, but you can tell they're being more considerate how bodies are being shown. I imagine the actors who play Rhaenyra and Allison have nudity riders in their contracts that were like, we're okay with specific simulated sex acts, but don't want you to show our chest or other body parts.
Right.
I also agree that Rhaenyra and Kristen's evening of passion might not have been entirely consensual because of the power dynamic, which again is made more clear with the IC on the set. Sorry for the novella, but I was excited. Thank you for being awesome.
Thank you.
That's dope. I think yeah, I definitely noticed it too. And even in the past when they were more quote unquote raunchy, but later in the seasons, I think they learned, at least the people around that original Game of Thrones, they learned that there's a lot you can do without showing it.
Yes, you can. And still get your point across.
And in some cases make a stronger point.
Sometimes without showing
like
anything.
I still think about like how Craster's Keep, when those soldiers sexually assaulted all of his like incest daughters or whatever. I still think about how like, you know, that was terrible and it was, you know, blah blah blah, but not like the show was advocating for it. The show was saying it was terrible, but that doesn't stick with me. Sansa in a scene that I don't see, but I see Alfie's the actor Alfie's face really being a mirror for all of our faces at home. And because they, you know, it was honestly harder to watch.
Yes, watch him responding. Yes.
Then if they would have, it was harder to watch. And there's people that tried to shit on that, but I refused. No, that was great filmmaking in that moment, because what the other alternatives are to show what's happening to her, and that's absolutely a no-go at that point.
Right.
And it was a way of showing the connection between those two characters who as captives had basically bonded because they were captives to this evil motherfucker.
Yes,
and
that had fucked them both up.
And
bad.
two characters that the audience had turned on and didn't like, and then you saw something so traumatic happening to her and him witnessing it, so a second level trauma to him, and we went, yeah, we got to get them out of there. Like whatever, if you, not that I was always rooting for Sansa, but then you felt the audience root for Sansa. You felt the audience root for Reek.
So many people was just like, she ain't shit, and like they were heavily against her as a character.
But then there's this lesson that's learned there, which is we don't have to show everything. Like sometimes you just know, and it's just worse. So, and I hope they take that with them for this, you know. And then of course, it definitely becomes a thing because as you see actors get bigger names, they don't do these scenes anymore. And I think when if the woman who played Daenerys didn't need to do like the kind of nudity scene she did in season 1, in season 8 or whatever, like by season 8 they didn't need that, then you can kind of make an argument there's never really a need for it, like or just not for it to be as bold. And I think men and the male view want, like, we see stuff and we're like, it's gotta be like so shocking, you know. And it's like, it doesn't really have to be shocking for us to know that, you know. But I think when they started, they wanted this show to stand out from Tolkien and all these other fantasy shows. Like, no, we fucking showed the sex, bro. And now I think people are like, yeah, I mean, there's horrifying shit that happens that's not even sexual.
Yes, it is.
Like that ABCD section where it was like, that's not a sexual scene, but that was enough for us all to be like cringing at home.
Yes, sir.
All right, sorry about that. DJ writes in, hi Rod and Karen, today is my 54th birthday and I had a great present. I got my new booster appointment. It made my day. As a DJ, I've been out there for a while, and luckily I haven't had the vid, but I'm always thinking that every time I DJ could be my time. Hopefully with this new booster, I'm not going to feel as stressed every weekend. Even though I could still get it, I'm going to feel a little more protected, and you'll be a little more protected. Thank you for keeping your foot on COVID's neck, and even when the articles don't seem to be coming out as frequently, stay safe. Big love, DJ Jaffa.
And that's very understandable, particularly with the new booster. It actually is a combination and fights against both, which is even more protection. And so it's just one of those things where I'm excited, and I'm glad that you're out here being safe and but still doing your job. But the thing is now, studies and statistics show that if you do, particularly if you're vaccinated and boosted, you do get COVID, your chances of long COVID decreases is not as high, and your chances of it being being as severe to your body is lower too.
Celeste writes in episode 2598, Spicy Rod. Ooh, that's a long one. I don't know what we said. Hi, Rod and Karen. I hope you both had a good week. I wanted to comment on the feedback episode. As always, I appreciate the nuance of the COVID news and how you both discussed the issues. One of the other listeners wrote in, and I totally agree with what they said that you both said about where we are with COVID. The distrust in institutions, honestly, was even before 45. Some for good reason, to be fair. However, at the end of the day, it's people making the best recommendations for what they know to be true at the time. All of those people have their own biases, perspective, education, and approach that will impact what they recommend. For any public health issue, some people are very conservative, risk averse, and recommend very restrictive measures to address others. Go to the other end of the spectrum. Everyone looks at recommendations and finds facts to support where they fall. Think about other health issues, diabetes, smoking, STDs, etc. Part of what goes in the individual risk assessment is how likely does that person think the worst of X outcome will happen to me. And yes, while I do agree that collectively governments have responsibilities to citizens to try to protect its citizens, people have to agree to listen. The segues into the commentary about prison abolition and criminal. This segues into the commentary about prison abolition and criminal justice reform. How does an individual in a society make another person do something? How do they make them acknowledge harm, stop a behavior, and adopt a new behavior that is either restorative or at least not harmful? Right. Like, I want the system to work. I pay taxes. I follow the rules. If someone hurts me, family or friends, yes, I want the police to do their job, the judge to do their job, and the criminal system to do its job. I am sorry, but I have worked with people in trouble most of my career, and many do not spontaneously realize that they have hurt someone. They have some type of consequences that lets them know that what they did wasn't right. Now, should that always involve police? Absolutely not. But are some folks hard-headed, dealing with mental illness, substance use disorder, and cannot, for whatever reason, come for that conclusion themselves without somebody making it real? Yes. This is where I'm getting increasingly irritated with the criticism of the Biden-Harris administration and what they are and are not doing with COVID and other things. Number one, they had a lot of mitigation in place, and 45 judges struck mandates down. Yep, no one talks about that. Two, if we lived in a world where that mandate was upheld by the Supreme Court, I think there's so much shit that doesn't change. Like I think once you say the government cannot tell people you need to be vaccinated, and the Supreme Court strikes that the power of the government to do that, you have to plan that you have to approach the pandemic from that point as we can't make people do anything.
Nope.
And everyone just ignored that shit because they were just like, fucking Joe Biden. It's like, fam, the court said you can't.
Right, and there's nothing else you can do past that point.
Two, businesses pushed back and the public did too. Three, other countries globally adopted reduced mitigation. Yeah, that was another thing that irked me, was people mad at the United States. We were like the last place to go, fuck it, okay, it's not 10 days, 5 days. We were like the last place. And all these places that people put on the list of better than us have been down to 5 days. For elements that, other than the dictatorships, obviously they can make motherfuckers do whatever they say.
To.
4 elements that have been trying to sabotage success of Biden Harris because they have 45 supporters still in the government. They've been impacted some decisions. 5, human nature, people for better or worse cannot live 100% on alert all the time. 6, nobody's getting zero COVID, even China, which has the most restrictive approach, which would never work here.
Right.
Like, do people calling for the government to do more want police, National Guard, and the military to make people wear masks, stay home? What does that look like?
Right.
It looks like the summer of 2020 where white people got to protest mask mandates with automatic weapons, and BLM tried to protest in the street and got tear gas. That is a really great point. What does enforcement look like from these people? Because obviously, if they want this level of enforcement for these rules, they're probably very liberal. If they're, if they're on my side of things, like COVID is real, everybody go back in the house. We gonna make you go back in the house. But then it's like, who gonna make you go back in the house? Because have you seen these people? They don't want to do this shit no more. So unless somebody about to enforce it, they not wearing these masks whether you tell them to or not. They were barely doing it when they were told to.
Right. And you still have a subsection of people, and this group of people is kind of always overlooked, and I completely understand these people. You have the people that never wore a mask in the first place.
Right.
Then you have the people who stayed their asses at home, did everything they were supposed to, get every vaccination, every booster, they got the new, they did everything they were supposed to do, but they still stayed inside because for a lot of them, they're like, what about my kids? And so now the shit started rolling out with the kids. And so now they're vaccinated and boosted. Their children are vaccinated and boosted. And they're like, I'm not wearing a mask anymore. You told me I could take my mask off. I'm not putting it back on. So now you have these two groups of people that are actually a larger number now. You have the people that always said, fuck it. Then you got the people that's like, I did what I was supposed to do. Fuck them other people. I'm not putting my mask back on. So you will have these two group of people being like, I'm not wearing my mask. I don't give a fuck.
I hate to be so cynical about all the legal cases against 45 doing anything, but I think the best we can hope for is that he can't run again. It's up to white people to say it is enough, and based on the history of this country, I doubt that they will. Things are so calm comparatively with Biden Harris that people have forgot how fucking awful it was to have 45 in office. Like every damn day, how much he and his administration lied, cheated, stole, how hard it would be for anyone to come behind and clean that up, how media and a large segment of the U.S. population said 45 wasn't that bad, let's have some more, how white people, as Karen said, refuse to hold each other accountable for the smallest things, let alone change their whole way of thinking to acknowledge harm. Anyway, take care as always, Celeste. Thank you, Celeste.
Right, I agree, and it can be very, very frustrating on the outside, kind of looking in when you can see these things and you going, I know I'm not crazy. I know if I'm seeing this, other people can see this too.
Professor LCA says, greetings, Rod and Karen. Just dropping a quick Them Thrones bit of feedback to say Rod was right about hashtag that scene. I rewatched it a few times and it was clear. Every time Damon should have been able to consummate the coup, the music dropped. The music let us know he could not. Yikes. P.S. Otto was tripping when he told the king about Ray's conquest. He should have kept and held that over Ray, letting her know that he had her dead to rights. See? Yes. I really think he low-key played himself because he hate Damon. I don't even think he thought that far ahead. Like, he's not a what if Viserys say something like he's a cunning man but not a smart man? That's the perfect description of this dude. Like, bruh, if that was Littlefinger, he would have met the princess in her room with all the swagger and all the fucking I got your ass. Now you gonna abdicate the throne, Anyway, he didn't, and now he ain't got no job.
Right.
What did Otto think the king was gonna do that would benefit Otto's realm? He's lucky the king didn't take his eyes, which I kind of hoped happens to White Worm, old snitch. Love the recaps. Linda Charlemagne Harris. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about Mysteria. I think it's Mysteria. Or is it Mysteria? Anyway, I still don't know how I feel about her. I know she's probably the secret keeper, and as the White Worm, she got all the moles and all the rumor mill.
We'll see her again. I don't know to what capacity. I don't know what role she's gonna play. But she's gonna be more like Varys, where you kind of be more in the background and have some power, but maybe not a lot of power.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't know how I feel about her though. Because I like maybe they'll show us what happened in 3 years, or she'll give us a monologue at some point. But like, I can kind of respect her get it out the mud. Like, I was a slave, and then I was a prostitute, not prostitute. I was a whore. I was, or maybe it was a whore then a slave. Who knows? But she got out of slavery, and she definitely is a can't go back all-star. She ain't going back.
She's not going back to the ghetto.
And if that means everybody's life gonna be a little harder with the streets knowing their business, then that's just what it's gonna have to be.
That's what it's gonna be.
So I can kind of respect that from her, even if it makes it very inconvenient for our main characters. John Wright said, "Good morning, Rod and Karen. That story about the New Orleans mayor was hilarious. Imagine being one of those poor assistants and having to go on work lunches with her. She ordering the surf and turf, but insisting that the rest of us split an appetizer or something from the kids menu.
Come on. And you better get them chicken fingers."
She'd be like, "I'm looking at the grilled cheese for you. I think the grilled cheese will be good."
Yeah, go ahead, give me that T-bone. Go ahead, and give me that New York strip. How much is that filet mignon?
Why don't y'all go to Panera Bread, and then I will let you know how Ruth's Chris was.
That's how that went.
I'm not a big country fan, but Mary Morris rhymes with Karen, I believe, is pretty great. Check out her first album, Girls, is full of bops. And the title song video is really amazing and powerful. It highlights women of all ages, sizes, colors, portrays their struggles in the sexist world and their incredible strength and persistence with a message of solidarity and encouragement. It practically brings me to tears every time I see it. Anyways, she seems like a really cool person. I admire anyone who can be so openly progressive and tolerant in such a conservative space as country western music. Yeah, I understand we had a person right in earlier to say that you need racism to be good at country music, which I don't know enough to disagree. I need to listen to more before I can
bring a little
sure.
racism on it.
How on earth did anyone think it was a good idea to have a 9/11 themed menu? I mean, I have a pretty twisted sense of humor, but even I know better than that. Even as a publicity stunt, it's just incredibly dumb. Read the room. That's what I kept thinking. Like, I literally was just sitting there like, but we know that won't work. Like, it's not that I have a dark sense of humor. I'm like, I would never put that on. I wouldn't print that out. I would be like, something in me would be like, okay, but for real, Rod, for real, we want to sell food, not get burned down.
We want to sell food.
This week's Dim Thrones is another awesome episode. When that old man came in to court, Rhaenyra acted like the Leonardo DiCaprio rules apply to him. I was just waiting for Rhaenyra to say, "Okay, boomer." If I remember correctly, she even looked over at Kristen Cole and rolled her eyes. She did. It was so perfect, and I could give her an Emmy for that scene alone. And how is anyone surprised the series ended up getting to that cess? We all knew that's where it was headed, right? People just love people's reactions are the content now. Like reaction videos on YouTube and TikTok is, the reaction is the content. And when you're in a world like that, then obviously the biggest, most over-the-top reaction gets the most, appeal, or you just get to belong to the group. But for me, the way my mind works, what's funny to me is this group is we not down with rape and incest. Nigga, that should be everyone. This is no badge of honor. Like, being grossed out by fictional incest is not the flex that people think it is. Like,
right.
To me, show me the people who are like, I'm down with this. Those are the weirdos, not like, like the people that are somewhere like, listen, that was the hardest scene. Those are the people I'm like, now talk to them.
We need to have a conversation.
Yeah. When I saw the brothel scene, all I could think of was the people who do porn parodies feverishly hunting for platinum blonde wigs on eBay, because those parodies are coming. And he spelled coming the CUML. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Game of Thrones is so weird. I don't even know how you do a porn parody of Game of Thrones because they doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, although it's funny because even quote unquote incest porn in America, at least, it's so fucking weird and stupid. To me it's funny. Like, I know, and maybe to a lot of people it's funny, but no one wants to admit that it's funny. They just want to be like, it's gross, but it's funny because they're not related. And I think if someone was actually having sex with their step sibling, they wouldn't be like, take this step brother cock. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that's happening, guys. Like, they have to look in the camera and remind you, like, it's only so creepy.
Wink.
But Justin, I'm your stepmom. Like,
have to keep reminding you who they are.
Like,
and lies. I'm your
Exactly.
stepmom.
I'm like, you're okay. Are you everyone's stepmom? Because I saw you in the scene with another guy
Right.
yesterday.
You. How many children do you have, ma'am?
Right.
We need to have a conversation
And
about your
I'm
kids.
just, I'm just proud you married interracially. Let's just shout out to progress. #progress. Okay, I'm off to make myself a delicious Bin Laden burger. Cheers and stay safe, John.
Oh no.
Robert says, Plan T. This is the last one. Hi, Karen and Rod. First of all, I'd like to say I've been enjoying your podcast. I recently started listening. It's been a great addition to my library. I just want to throw some thoughts out in regards to the House of the Dragon. I don't actually believe that Daemon set Rhaenyra up. At least not in the way that it seems you two think. First of all, Robert, the fuck you mean you two?
Who is you two?
The way you people think.
Y'all, what are you trying to say? You darkest.
He black. I'm just fucking with him. I do think that he wanted to get her out, allow her to see the city, and introduce her to the pleasure house. I don't think he meant for word of it to get back to the king. I don't think the pleasure house is a place that anyone talks about. We know that Otto only found out because he actually had a tell on her, and Daemon supplied by the white worm. No one in the pleasure house spoke out about it, I'm sure. Karen, go ahead, break it down. He don't know.
The thing is,
he don't know.
The thing is with Otto said that he had witnesses, which means they actually had to be in it there when he was like the king for a day. Like, so he's getting eyewitnesses to tell him this particular information. And the thing about it is, if this was something that Damien didn't want out, why did he purposely pull her hat off her head to show her hair? Because their hair stands out. They are known for that hair. So he literally wanted everybody to see, and everybody literally stopped and started being like, "That's the princess."
Right.
The princess. Like so he, that word is actually going to get, like, the whole purpose was to make a big scene. Like, he would have loved to fuck her in front of everybody so they can say, well, I seen them fuck, type of thing. But he couldn't go through with it, or he didn't want to go through with it. And so it's one of those things where, and even with that, she actually walked out, hollered his name, like she was actually doing stuff too to kind of compound on this. And the thing is, if this wasn't his plan, why did he lie to the king? He know he didn't fuck that girl. Why did he lie?
Why wouldn't he deny it?
Right. He'd have been like, well, I didn't fuck her. No, his whole plan was to any means necessary to get to that throne. He didn't care if it was through her or through anybody else to get to that throne. Like to me, that's been his whole purpose the whole time. And so for me, I can't see anything else that makes sense, but because that's based on what the show has presented to me. Not at one period of time did the show present anything showing him showing any remorse, with him being like, my bad, with him any form of apologies.
Right.
Like, he has been steadfast, like to be defiant.
That was his plan.
Like that.
Listen, Robert, you got played. He played your ass, and you fell for that shit. Now I have a theory why you got played, and we'll get to that in a second. I'll finish reading your email. But when I looked at Damon, I don't see him the way you see him.
I wonder what he's gonna do today. I wonder what he's gonna do tomorrow. This guy just pissing. He's pissing all over us. He's pissing on you. What does it taste like? What does it taste like? Because you know what? It tastes like piss to me.
We saw in the pleasure house, the air for a day thing got out. We saw it. So we do know that they be talking at the pleasure house. We do know that the word gets back. And you know who else know? Damon, because that's how he got kicked out the kingdom. So you can't, nah. You gotta pay attention.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. These Negroes don't know nothing about history. These Negroes don't know. Let me get this straight.
Yeah, because I'm just going based off of what has been presented to me. And I don't think
say no one in the pleasure house spoke about it, I'm sure, is crazy talk to me.
Because they literally, like, if you go back and watch the scene when they walked in and everybody seen them, it was literally everybody stopped fucking. It was like, hey, y'all see what's happening?
Robert,
like y'all, you heard the whispers kind of happening around them.
Robert, you dangerously close. Okay, you're on the edge right now. Let's see if you can save this email. I also think that he pulled away because he actually does love her in that way and is conflicted about his own wants and her feelings. When he was, man, listen, the white man got you. Okay, he played you hook, line, and sinker. When he was talking to the king, he took the opportunity to present it to himself. So he asked for Rhaenyra's hand. He never lied about sleeping with her. He just never denied it. Oh God, are you falling for this shit? Like, you know how good you have to feel his intentions are to know, to watch, look past every red flag. Even Viserys couldn't look past his red flags at that point. Man, you be a terrible king, okay? You be dead within a week. Daemon isn't a threat to the king. He doesn't want to be the king now. He does want to be the heir, though. Boy, did Daemon put you up to this? Or did Daemon make you write this email? Also, I feel that Alicent was upset more out of jealousy or envy, not just out of being scared for Rhaenyra. Well, she might be jealous or envy, but that wouldn't necessarily that both things can be true. I think you two go hard on Rhaenyra, and it's not always fair. Oh God, this might be your last email, bro. I believe that she is likely a good heir at this point, other than when we see her rebel every few years. Well, those are when the show is telling us, and the show is also telling us through the dialogue of the characters, she is not doing the things she's supposed to do in the years we don't see her. So Viserys is like, you don't participate in the things that the ceremonial customs that are required of an heir. And yet she goes, and it's because I know you ain't gonna make me the heir. And I say, you're playing yourself. She's a teenager. And which is why I completely object to your, like, we go hard on her. No, the fuck I don't. You ain't seen me go hard yet. I'm not even going hard on this email, and I disagree with almost every word. We haven't really gone hard on her because she is a teenager.
Yes.
Looking at her objectively, she makes moves that make it hard to put her on the throne anyway.
Yeah, she's not moving smartly.
Yeah, if that's her stated goal, it would behoove her to play the game. Even when you don't like it, you're like, let me go meet the people. Let me go do the ceremonial bullshit. Let me go to my brother's fucking birthday thing. I need to walk with a confidence of I'm the fucking heir. And it don't matter what y'all think about the shit. It ain't getting to me. I'm going to be the fucking heir. I'm going to be on the throne, and y'all niggas better learn to deal with it. Instead, she moves like, I'm not going to be the heir. And it makes it harder for her father to sell it, and it makes it harder for her to believe it. And we've seen this man literally every episode like double down on to her face. You are the heir. I swear on your mother. You, even after she supposedly fucked, he thought she fucked Daemon, he was like, you still the heir.
Yes, but what you gonna do is no more of the bullshit, because the thing is, he tried to work with her. Truthfully, if you would have stuck to the plan, your ass would have still been gone for another fucking 60 days. But you decided to cut your trip short and bring your ass here. And so you no more playing games. You don't get to pick. I pick. You gonna marry that nigga, and this is gonna be enough for your ass.
You have to remember that we skip a lot of time, and I'm sure that she is doing everything she's supposed to do at those other times. But literally, Viserys said she wasn't.
Yeah.
God damn it, Robert, you're failing hard right now. Okay, there's only like a third of this email left. I need you to pull it together. Okay, I'm so angry right now with you. I don't like my time wasted. Okay,
I was like, are we?
You just say this show? Is like Trump having his own alternative facts. Where he's just like, well, alternatively, you have to remember, it's like, well, why did the show say the opposite? I'm watching it twice for my, for your benefit and mine. You're not gonna catch me up on facts. Like, you might catch me up on we don't have the same opinion, but
which is fine.
This shit did not happen that you're saying.
Because he said several times, you don't come to anything, you don't participate. He constantly asking, where is she? Like at the birthday party and shit like that. It's like she's never where she's supposed to be.
It's also important to think that no one alive has experienced what she has experienced. No one alive was considered the heir when they were young. That's not how that would necessarily work. But okay, sure. Yes, no one's ever been through this before. Viserys got to live his life as just another royal until old man Jay named him before he died. Also, having a chose of scores of people you have no interest in isn't really a choice at all. Get the fuck. I do appreciate you bringing up the power imbalance between Rhaenyra and Cole, though. I don't think you do. It was the first thing that jumped into my mind. I also think she only slept with Cole because he was an attractive body for her after Damon got her going. I think the power dynamic was part of the reason.
Because he could not tell her no.
I don't think she would have just slept with any attractive dude. I think because she could have stayed in the pleasure house and fucked an attractive dude.
Right, because they was all around.
Lastly, the Meister would never make the tea for Alicent. That would be treasonous. Maybe she made it on her own though. I don't know. Sorry for the lengthy email. Sorry, any errors, no edits here. Keyword the good work. Robert, it sounds like, first of all, you don't know what good work is, because if you can't say we got all that wrong and be like, but keep up the good work. Second of all, you were wrong. Okay, not us. I've been paying attention. Go back and watch the shows again, because this whole
brother, you're wrong. That's not true.
This whole email, okay?
You are wrong. All of you are wrong.
I don't appreciate it. Okay, appreciate you writing in, but I don't appreciate your email being wrong as fuck. I need you to go back to the drawing board, pay more attention to the show, and then you can come back, because this is disgusting. Okay. And I'm sorry if we hurt your feelings, but
Cancer culture can be cruel.
You know that.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like what you're stating actually did not happen on the show, and there's been times where these things have been explained, and there were time jumps and things like that. And that's one thing I can say about them having a faster paced show. They don't show these things anymore, because before they would have showed these things. They would have had a half an episode or a quarter of episode of her pouting and missing appointments and them looking for her. They would have showed that, but they're not doing that anymore. What they're doing is depending on the audience to actually listen to the dialogue and the things that they're saying and the things that they're laying out to come up to fill in the blanks for the time jumps and the time skips.
Factually incorrect. We got a couple things in the mail. Aaron gave us a card. Dear Rod and Karen, I just wanted to write a note to wish you both a very happy TBGWT day on Friday. I am so infinitely thankful for your amazing podcast and for all the many, many hours you two have kept me company throughout the years. All the goodness and success to you always, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron.
Oh,
very nice of you.
Another card to put with my 5,100 other ones I got.
Karen keeps all of your cards, guys.
I do, y'all. I'm worse than the teachers. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how many cards I got. I might take and make a big ass collage out of them. I love y'all cards.
And then we also got a package in the mail.
Can you open it?
Yeah, I can open it.
Okay.
I'm a human being. Okay.
No, because I know
I made it this far in life.
I know it's kind of pretty tightly.
Well, I have my trusty opener over here with me.
Yeah, your handy dandy.
I look at the card first. It says Brother Rod and Sister Karen, so we know it's from Cornell West. Brother Rod, Sister Karen, the oligarchs and the plutocrats. Now it says, with appreciation for your ministry, thank you for your faithful sharing. TBGWT, truth and love. And TBGWT has been like taped on. I think this card may have been for God first. I don't know. Not only with
some editing,
not only with your words,
they got out the religious section.
Not only with your words, but also with your life.
Oh,
you continue to make wonderful difference in many lives because the honor in you, the humor in you. It says, okay, all right, and it says, and then they taped over. God bless you richly.
We got an edited card. I'll take it.
It says, as you probably guessed, the card was meant to be for Pastor Appreciation Day. Since the Dollar Tree does not carry the Black Autism Appreciation Day cards, the Black mother in me found a way to make a way out of no way.
Come on.
Enjoy these Dollar Tree pumpkin spice treats, or if not to your liking, I didn't spend much, so don't feel guilty if you have to toss them. Oh no, I'm gonna eat these, sis. Happy to Black Autism anniversary and birthday, Rod, from one white woman of color to another, Rhea. Also, as far as the Starbucks card, not sure how much is there. I am re-gifting. I hope enough for the two of you to get a pumpkin spice something or another. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I had to check the balance on this. Apparently, the Starbucks card.
You can check online. You can go online. It tells you the balance.
And what's in here? Okay, we got all kinds of pumpkin spice goodness. We got a candle that is French toast and pumpkin butter. Wait, is this? Ooh, that smells great.
Yeah.
Okay. I got that candle that the other person sent burning right now at my desk, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play. When it comes to this pumpkin spice, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know how I liked that thing and I almost burnt myself.
Well, you could have kept that to yourself. Yes, now we all know. Another one of the same candle. We got some Oreos in here, pumpkin spice, of course, flavor.
Pumpkin spice Oreos.
You know, we got Werther's original pumpkin spice soft caramels.
Oh, come on through! I didn't know that Dollar Tree was pumpkin spicing it like this.
Tabitha Brown journal set.
Come on through, Tabitha Brown.
Okay, it's contemplated up in here. Okay, shout out to this. And what else we got here? Got what is this? A Tabitha Brown scented candle.
Yeah,
girl, how you know we like some Tabitha Brown? Okay,
because we've been watching that show.
I've been watching this contemplated. Okay,
it's fun.
Y'all can move it if y'all want. I'm gonna be there. And Tabitha Brown mug. Okay,
let's go.
Shout out to y'all. Okay. Thank you. That's everything.
You.
And I think that's everything. Thank you so much. I'm gonna enjoy these. Okay, I'm not throwing any of it out. I'm about to open one of these Oreos right now and mess up the sound quality of the show that we just talked about.
You're gonna have somebody now. You don't eat on the show.
We'll be back tomorrow. Our guest is gonna be Deidre. You know, Deidre. It's gonna be Dee. She was on the show last year, and she does like an annual fundraiser and like this like a 5K type event for her mom. And just gonna catch up with her and see how life's been treating her. A lot of people really enjoyed that interview and felt like really inspired because she was like changing my life up midstream. Like I quit my job and now I'm I already have a podcast about wine. Now I'm slinging wine. And we'll catch up and probably talk some current events and pop culture stuff with her as well. So we'll see you tomorrow.
That's tomorrow afternoon, right?
Tomorrow, if you want to watch it live with us, I believe it's tomorrow at, I want to say 1 p.m., but let me be sure. Yeah, 1 p.m. And it'll be on Crowdcast. So we'll see you there. All right, y'all. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody.